Welcome. We are now at the Tilburg University and visiting Bert-Jaap Koops, who is holding a chair on regulation and technology. And the first question I'm going to ask him is why we are sitting in this way.
Yes, it might be somewhat unusual, but over the past few years I've become increasingly concerned with facial recognition, which is fast in development and which in a few years I think will be so common that anyone can use a facial recognition app, which will particularly work well if you have a lot of pictures of yourself online. And so I've been very hesitant to have my picture full frontal at various places in various settings online, because that will enable, I'm afraid, that people in the future will recognize me more easily when I'm walking on the street. And because I value my privacy, I'd rather be not that much or that easily recognized.
But being an academic means that you will have a lot of presentations and things like that, so you are going to be photographed and filmed all over the place and put on the internet even then.
Yes, although not usually very close. So many of these presentations, if they are online, will be from a bit further away. And increasingly, I also notice, perhaps particularly with the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation now, that you're being notified in advance that they are taking pictures, and you can say that you wouldn't like them. So I usually also object to those. Whether they really cut me out of the videos is a second thing, but at least they make an effort.
You didn't give your consent at least,
No.
or you have the possibility of withdrawing it at least. Okay, but the main reason why we are here today, it's nice that we are having a MOOC on privacy, and then you don't want to be full in being taken on the video. That's nice. I really like that. But the main reason why we are here is I would like you to explain what the history is behind the coming of being of your typology, on which you wrote with a whole number of colleagues on. And would you be able to explain that to our audience on what elements played a role in that, and how you came to, from an academic view, a huge article. I mean, it's a whole bunch of pages.
It's a typical US law review article, which is often these 70, 80 pages long.
Yeah, so you modeled it towards the article length that was allowed for.
Yes, but we needed that space. So
Okay.
to explain why we embarked on this was a bit of an unexpected thing, but it turned out that it was very useful in the end. I have a large project funded by the Dutch Organization for Scientific Research, NWO. 5 years. This is the last year. So in the first 2 years, we started thinking how we can protect privacy in the law when the old frameworks for privacy protection are really 19th, 20th century, and they don't really work well anymore for the 21st century. And we particularly apply that to the context of criminal procedure, so what the police can do in terms of criminal investigation. And that is typically regulated by constitutional law. So you have certain privacy rights versus the government, and law enforcement is one of the main instantiations of the government that can really intrude on your privacy very forcefully. In order to see how privacy is currently being protected under constitutional law, and looking what the gaps are in that. In order to do that exercise, this is a large-scale comparative law project where we look at 9 countries to see how the countries are dealing with contemporary privacy challenges. We needed some kind of idea how to delineate privacy. So we started with looking at how is privacy conceptualized nowadays in the legal frameworks. So we started with looking at the constitutions of the 9 countries we are studying, that are 3 common law countries, the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. 3 civil law countries that are fairly obvious in these types of comparative researches. The Netherlands, obviously, because that's our country here.
Yeah.
Germany, because that's quite similar to the Dutch system in terms of criminal procedure. And Italy, which also has a roughly similar system to criminal procedure.
Okay.
And then we chose 3 what I call exotic. They're not really exotic, but different countries that are not typically used in these types of comparative researchers. Those are the Czech Republic, Poland, and Slovenia, all of which are countries in Eastern Europe that also share a lot of the German legal tradition, but at the same time have a history in totalitarian state surveillance, and therefore might have interesting differences in terms of how they protect privacy nowadays.
Yeah.